Welcome to the Successful Real Estate Broker Podcast, where we learn about some success stories and some not so successful stories. But either way, we learn. Each episode, we talk with successful real estate agents and vendors about things they have done to make them successful and some things they did that you might want to avoid. Join us for each episode of the Successful Real Estate Broker Podcast with your host, Preston Sandlin.
And have really big profitable businesses and also lead many, many people and been highlighted for that. So I think I kind of got my wish of being able to teach and be a model just in a way that mattered more importantly to me.
I like it. That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
I also do have 3 children, and I was a single mom for many years, and just had a background in operations and finance. I'm really good with numbers. People usually think I'm the numbers whisperer, so I can make numbers easy for people and help them understand how to apply it well to their business and their life, and really choose their life versus letting their life happen to them. I had 3. I built a few businesses, moved around a bit. To your point, I helped a few offices or brokerages in Maryland after starting off at a brokerage here locally in the Charlotte area for 5 years, and us going from number 4 in market share to number 1 in market share in those 5 years.
That's awesome.
I was helping with operations of 3 locations, and then I was the CEO of 1 right outside of Baltimore. And then I moved to Wilmington, and while I was in Wilmington for a little over a year and a half, I met Sean, who's my significant other. And when
Nice guy.
yeah, he's so nice. And moved back to Charlotte with my children. He also had full custody of his 3 children. So God has a big sense of humor and thought it would be a good idea for me to have double the number of children that I already
You
have.
guys got a real life Brady Bunch going on there.
We actually do. There's 3 of each gender. So moved back and got the opportunity to help turn around the office I was originally a part of. And it had gone through some big cultural changes. We were able to get a lot of the metrics and the people and the culture turned around in a few years. And now I am building a global network of people that all are similar in their values and want to genuinely help lift each other as we build. And also I have a really high level coaching company. And then I just wrote a book called She Built the Fire to help anybody that's in career transition have very simple steps. It's specifically targeted to women, but men also could benefit from it. But just to have very simple steps when you're in a career transition of how do you build what's next in alignment with how you were designed.
Awesome. Now,
Yeah.
in that book, I've seen you present, and a lot of us come from some humble beginnings and tough beginnings. I heard a little bit of it. It's very inspiring. Is that also part of your book? I know when you were presenting, you were,
Yeah. So it's funny because I wanted to write a book for a while, as you and I have been holding each other accountable,
yes,
writing
yes.
our
I
book.
did write one more chapter since I've talked to you.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So I actually held on to the content that I've shared when I've been speaking about my story.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And I had that sitting around for a bit, and then I had one of my dear friends say, "Hey, have you written that book yet?" It was right when I was building what I am now. And I thought, no, but the reason I haven't put it out is because my goal is for it to be useful for the person reading it and not to spend too long in the hard parts. So what I
Right.
did is I divided all of my content into like a third and then just focused on questions and exercises that really are already helping transform the lives of the reader. So there are little tiny stories in it, not all of the story. And I will have like a full story later that will include a lot of the things that you had the opportunity to hear about my journey. But really, the whole goal behind it is just for people to hear you can have unexpected changes, you can have hard things in your life, and any of the variety of those things, you can still choose what life you want, and you deserve to be able to give back and pour into people and build the biggest possible life and business that you would like to have.
Awesome. Awesome. All right. I'm going to get off track for a second, then I'll get
That's
back on
okay.
track.
Yeah.
I'm just curious. How long did you live in Wilmington, and have you watched The Waterfront yet?
I
The
haven't watched
Netflix?
it yet.
It's
Um,
filmed. It's filmed in Wilmington. I'm sure if you watch it, you'll be like, I've been there.
So I was there for about a year and a half. And what's so funny about TV is until very recently, like I'm one of those kind of girls that like I wake up early in the morning, focus on my journaling, my Bible study, my affirmations, all the things. And then on most days, I would say probably about 6 out of 7 days a week. And then I go and build and then like probably far beyond where I should some days. And I'm working on that with what I'm building right now is being more present and continuing to be more present at home. And then I just don't like sometimes it's a running joke in our house that if they turn a television show on or a movie on, I'm either like working or I'm asleep. I things can't hold my attention span well unless I'm like moving or building something. So
I got you.
I'm
Well,
not really
sorry,
good at
I didn't
watching
mean to
TV
take
because
us
of that.
into the weeds, but I was like, I'm just curious. I didn't know.
Yeah,
But you should watch the waterfront if
I
you
should.
get some time
I should.
off. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so I know inside baseball here that you were at an office that had some of the top teams
Yeah,
in
in the whole market. Yeah.
in the market in the country. So I know you got up and close and personal and probably saw their numbers. So you obviously and you've probably learned a lot and you probably stuff on your own, and that's probably what you're I don't want to speak for you, but I would assume that's you're coaching now and stuff. So in your legacy collaborative, what would you say, or when you've coached in the past, top two or three things that real estate agents struggle with, or that you think, and I know it's probably the answer, like what do they struggle with and how do you solve it? Do that in 3 minutes. Can you? I know there's a
Perfect.
yeah,
Perfect.
it's a very complicated thing, but
Um,
what are
it,
the top two or three that you
it's actually not that complicated. And what's interesting is it's not unique to real estate agents.
Hmm,
And yes, I've had the amazing opportunity to work with some of the top teams from the time they got started or all the way from the time that they were only a year and a half in. Many of the top people in the Charlotte market, also top leadership of brokerages across the country and top agents in other countries. So I've had the chance to coach and lead people globally in the real estate industry for a total of about 12 years and over 15,000 hours. And so I've seen a
well,
lot of what works and what doesn't. And what's interesting is although the market shifts and the world shifts and the reasons we could be fearful or allow things to stop us in our tracks shift, the primary issues that people face and have the opportunity to get on the other side of don't really change.
right.
And one of the top things that people have the opportunity to choose to get on the other side of every single day is their habits and their environment. And what I mean by that is you get to choose the habits that cause the environment in your head and the habits that cause the environment in your body. So when you take care of your mind and your spirit and your body, the version of you that shows up to serve clients and attract people into your world is different. So what I would say as a solution to that, and by the way, most people that think they have issues with leading their agents, getting people into production, how do I now talk about my value proposition because people are questioning what I'm worth? The people who have those issues, those are actually just surface level issues. And most of the time, you need to get back to the foundation and understand, for me to have the business I want to have, who do I need to become to have that kind of business and to attract people into my world that want to work with me and don't question my value? And
Right.
that takes a lot of personal deep diving, looking at your calendar and figuring out where am I prioritizing time to take care of myself, make sure I'm working on my spirit, working on my body, being present with my family so that I can last over a long period of time and that I can bring the best version of myself to the clients that I'm serving. So
Yeah,
that's
no,
one is
okay.
mindset and habits.
Yeah, I think balance is hugely important because, like, you've seen people that, like, are having tremendous success in one part of their life at the expense of another, the classic, financially killing it, but isn't there for their kids' games and stuff. and not say, but to me, it's like the balance. Do you? I mean, it sounds like is that part of what you coach them on, trying to have the balance? Because no matter how well you do financially, if the family's not good, man, that's like your foundation to me is rotten. From a home inspection standpoint, yeah, pretty paint job, pretty roof, but that foundation is terrible.
Yeah, so one of the things that I think does make me unique as a coach is, and I've had that question a lot lately, and so I just allowed people I've worked with to answer it. And I really do help people. I don't like the word balance. I like counterbalance
There you
because
go.
I'm someone that believes you should go all in with whatever you're focused on in the moment.
Right,
Um,
right, right.
so I actually envision how we invest our time, which is the only asset that we can never make more of or get back.
That's the
Um,
most valuable asset you have.
it is. So I actually believe in getting really clear on your values and really clear on your habits. And then I've been working with my clients on how do you look at your calendar and ensure those core habits and your values are on your calendar every week. And I actually have people use a Google Calendar, even if they have other versions that they use. I prefer that because you can color code to see if you have your spiritual development, if you have your physical development, if you have your family time on there, if you have your friend time on there. Because more than ever, people need human in-person time with people that they love. Even like the friends that you miss right now, those people miss you too. And somebody has to take the first step to make sure on the calendar together.
Right, right,
And people are more lonely now than ever. So look at the calendar, figure out where are my core habits? Where am I focused on the things I know I need to? And do I have all of those pillars present on my calendar? And that actually, what's interesting about that is when you're checking in on that every single week as a habit, you end up attracting people into your world you want to do business with.
right,
Most of the
right.
time, when you think you have client issues or people that don't see your value or people that don't want to work with you, it's because you're not ensuring that you're showing up as the best version of yourself.
I don't know if you can see this. This is my monthly checklist of stuff.
Perfect. What
Yeah.
do you include on your checklist?
Oh, well, all kinds of stuff. Social media, post, visiting offices. I'm obviously marketing
Yeah,
real estate agents, sponsoring classes, presentations. I want to do a certain number of those, but I also have my family stuff here. Spend time with family. I want to read 2 books a month, one
mhm.
fiction, one nonfiction
That's fun.
podcast. Because believe it or not, I think sometimes reading I used to be like an all nonfiction guy. I got a whole bookshelf full of every success book you can imagine. But honestly, I think going back and forth. Anyway, sorry, it's your interview. Bike ride, workout, uh, writing book.
Very
I'm
good. I'm
still
glad
trying
it's
to
on there.
marketing book.
Yeah,
But anyway,
I love your list. Um,
uh,
what I would say to you is um, maybe you need to flip it upside down. Just because you had all of your work things at the top. And when
yeah,
we look at our calendar, and I know all of them are on your list, and when we look at our calendar and prioritize the fun things like reading a book that is not, I'm not there yet because I haven't finished reading all the books on my 3 bookshelves in my house that are business and habits and personal development just because I've been in the coaching lane for so long. And I love it. So it's fun for me to read those books. But I've had a lot of people that have said it's kind of like a vacation to read fiction books. And so I love that you do that for enjoyment. I would just say flip it upside down when you look at your calendar every single week. Make sure that you have those personal development and family time things on there first, and then just build your business around it because the version of the person that you're going to show up as to your business is going to be so much more attractive and you're going to have so many more positive things to talk about and those people are going to want to work with you because your values align and they're going to
yeah,
be naturally attracted to you. I've actually know that you have done that well many times because early on when we met, probably 2013, 2014, I remember you talking about your family and your children, and that would be just a common natural conversation for you. So I know how passionate you are about them and how much you love them. And in a world that has 10 million things going wrong, And in a world that AI is evolving and artificial everything is evolving, people are going to look for authentic and they're going to look for real and they're going to look for connection. So the more you take care of you and do all of that well, the better you can partner with them.
Awesome. I love it. Couple of things. Everything you said, I'm like, I have ADD, squirrel. But yeah, now let me first of all say I read a lot of books, but I cheat. I listen. I'm on Audible, so
That's not cheating, it's how you learn best.
yeah, yeah. Now I buy the book because when I'm listening to an Audible, I think it's so great and there's things I want to highlight. So then I want not all of them, but I buy, and I highlight it and I go back. The fiction thing, I'll tell you how that came about. I used to just be all nonfiction, business, marketing, how can I make my business better all the time. And I wouldn't even mess with fiction at all. That, my wife reads fiction all the time and I'm just like, but so I got into a story brand. Have you ever heard that?
Oh, so good.
Dennis Miller,
Yeah, so good.
and he's rebranded a couple. He's like in Nashville. I mean, there's a lot of guys. I'm sure you followed the Gary Vaynerchuk and
Yeah,
all these different. Roy Sutherland is another good one. But I have Dan Kennedy. But anyway, I was intrigued. His whole story brand is, there's like 7 basic plots to fiction. And one of the most popular one is the hero's journey, which is
yeah,
like Star Wars,
yeah,
where it's basically you have a hero, they're faced with a problem, plot, and they've got to solve that problem. Somewhere along the line, they meet a coach or an advisor.
yeah,
Yeah, like in Star Wars, it's what's the guy to be or not to be or something like that's the coach. You know, in real estate, it would be you.
yeah,
Like, hey, I want to accomplish my goals. I need a guide. It's a guide. Guide, that's what it's called.
yeah,
And then there's kind of a villain, whatever. And at the end they accomplish it. And his whole thing was in marketing, or if you provide goods or services, you're always position yourself as the guide. That the person like in real estate. All right, they've got a problem. They need housing. They got a new baby. They need more room,
yeah,
whatever. And then you position yourself that, you're the guy to help them. You're not the hero. You want
yeah.
them to be the hero of their own story, but then you're kind of position yourself as the guide to help them along their way. So anyway, now that I've hijacked you, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to, but it's
Um,
good stuff.
I love that so much. It's interesting because I don't know if you remember the original book title I was thinking about is Choose Your Life, Create Your Story. So it
Hmm.
is very much that. I am so grateful for the journey that I've had and all of the things I've had the opportunity to overcome over the years that I am ridiculously, relentlessly passionate about helping other people understand the greatness in them and make decisions in alignment with their values that happen to build businesses in alignment with their values, such that they can be a model for their family, their friends of how to do that well.
Awesome, awesome. Well, let me go back to like blocking and tackling
Yeah,
for real estate agents. And I've observed a lot too, but I probably haven't been up as close as because you're like in their numbers
in
and
it.
stuff.
Yeah,
So how do you feel? I know to me, everything you said is on the money. But one thing for sure is the ones, my observation, that are very successful is they treat it like a business. I
they
mean,
do.
you're your own boss now, so you have to like, all right, time block. We're gonna call FISBOs or whatever. What strategies? And I know
Yeah.
people have been successful with, you know, calling FISBOs, calling expired listings, door knocking, networking.
You know
What
all the
have you?
list.
What's that?
You know almost all of the list.
Yeah, email marketing.
Yeah.
Uh, what um, what's your advice? Like somebody comes to you, like, "Hey, Sandra, I'm an agent. I got my license. I want to be successful. What advice would you give me? Like to really, because I know that, I mean, there's a lot to it, but to me, it's like you got to get down and you got to do the work.
Yes, and doing the work can look very different. What I found is over the past 3.5 years, the majority of the business by realtors has been done with people they have relationships with. There are a lot of ways that you can purchase online leads, and there are lots of different models and systems that work depending on the profit margin and the life that you want. However, the reason why I started off with mindset and values is because people want, in a world that is more fearful than ever, people want to do business with people that they genuinely have a relationship with. So a lot of the strategies I'm having people leaning all into right now are in alignment with who they are in their life. A lot of times people think that they have to separate their life and their business instead of just figuring out that when you're building this business, you can choose, okay, what kind of life have I always really wanted to live and love? How do I lean into that? And how do I build relationships with people who love the same thing in a systematic way? So I'm a coach that helps people dive into what they like and their personality and their skills and their experiences before real estate, and then lean all the way into whatever is in alignment with that for them. Because you might do open houses for a short period of time, and you might do door knocking for a short period of time. You might call FizBiz for a short period of time. But unless it's something in alignment with the core of who you are and your life, you're not going to do it for a long period of time. You're going to be sitting in
Yeah.
my chair 90 days later telling me it didn't work because you didn't,
Right.
because it's not naturally who you are. So, I have a lot of conversations right now and highlight a lot of people that really focus in on being a connector in your community, that focus on how do you build tables out of people that are all sitting in their houses and all separate, and bring people together and help support their businesses and their family, and genuinely be the change and be the person that completely transforms whatever area you live in. And when you show up that way, in addition to making sure that you're connecting with enough people a week for it to support your goals, you're going to work with people you love. They're going to refer you, and you're going to have this amazing, loyal base of people that is going to be much more fun to work with and much more profitable to work with than if you were just all over the place begging people to start working with you that don't know you yet.
I'm glad you said that because, well, I have my real estate license, but it was
Yeah.
just to get the key way back. But I still go to CE and I go to some training and stuff because, I market real estate agents. I
Yeah.
mean, 90 some percent of our business comes from real estate referrals. So I'm always trying to get in the mind of a real estate agent, like what are the, and, I've gone to so many things and, different people say different things, and I agree with you. I think it has to fit the person because I always put myself there. Now, if I was a real estate agent, now like cold calling or calling, whoa, I couldn't do it. But it does
Some
work.
people are
I'm
good
not
at it. Yeah.
saying it doesn't work. I mean, but I've been to it's like it's a numbers game. If you have a certain percent, that you do, how many calls you got to make, and I've heard, it's math, you got to make. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, but I'm just like, man, somebody hangs up on me and cusses me out one time. I'm done. I'm like, I'm done. I'm like, oh man. But
Hello, I'm Bill Gallagher with Superior School of Real Estate, and I'm here with Preston Sandlin of Home Inspection Carolina. Preston, I've always liked your style, especially those pants, and also I've been interested in the home inspection business for a long time.
Well, Bill, that's ironic. I've always admired your style, and I've always admired your ability to educate these fine folks for sometimes 4-8 hours a day. I wish that I could do what you do.
Hey Preston, wouldn't it be cool if we switched? Preston, we sure got what we wished for, buddy.
We sure did. And now that you're the expert, Bill, I mean, you are wearing the pants, and I'm the instructor and the educator. Tell us what Home Inspection Carolina is doing these days to make the home buying process easier for realtors and home buyers.
Well, Preston, all our home inspection reports now are online for the real estate agent and the client to review the report online and to be able to create a repair list basically online by either clicking repair, accept, monetary compensation, and once they prepare the request, they can then press email, text, or print right then.
You mean it's all automated, Bill?
Absolutely, we are high tech.
Wow. What else is Home Inspection Carolina doing different these days?
Well, Preston, we're training our home inspectors to be non-alarmist. We are training them to put things into perspective and to simplify the message for the hopeful homeowner.
Non-alarmist is key, Bill. You remember those days of the 100-page reports and those 3-ring binders that would just go on and on and on, la 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 la. Thank you for being a good non-alarmist.
And Preston, one more thing. We fix the small stuff for free. Do you remember when home inspectors always put those little nitpicky items on those reports?
Oh, bless their hearts.
Well, at Home Inspection Carolina, if we can fix it in 5 minutes or less, we do it for free. We're better with a caulk gun than a keyboard any day. We just fix it.
You mean there's no cost for this, Bill?
Preston, it's free.
Wow.
Well, Preston, these pants really are a catch.
Well, Bill, I've enjoyed wearing the suit, but I don't think I could wear it every day because I got to fix the small stuff for free, and I don't want to ruin a good suit.
Preston, it's been a lot of fun flipping the switch.
That is one way to sell, and it is effective. I'm not knocking it, but then you got other people that are just network. That's probably where I would be better at. Or, you've got some agents out there that are on social media that are just killing it, and they show up and they're getting a lot. I mean, I know 2 or 3 agents that are just slammed, and I know some people will give me a hard time about this, but they say from TikTok, and my oldest daughter makes a living on it, so I'm not knocking it, even though I'm an old dude. But I think there's just different. You said it. You've got to fit you, or else you won't stick with it. You even said yourself, 90 days from now you'll be sitting here, and I've worked out since I was 14 or 15.
Yeah.
I haven't shared this with you before, but I had an eating disorder, and that's probably why I don't know if it's hereditary. My youngest daughter has an eating disorder. And anyway, got out of it because I got into working out and stuff, and I've worked out ever since. But the thing that I've learned is, like, I see people coming to the gym, like they come in and they just kill themselves. I'm like it's not what do you call it, long term.
It's not sustainable. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, you've got to come in and exercise, and like, it's got to be comfortable. I mean, obviously, it's not going to be comfortable if you haven't worked out in a while, but you've got to be. If you just kill yourself and you hate it, I mean, it's until your willpower burns out. I mean, you can't. Willpower is a great thing, but it can't. It can't be your main fuel. I think it's your starter fuel, but then you've got to at some point make it a habit. I don't know.
Here's something I would say to you too. I love that you just brought up that, like, you experienced something that may have been passed down to your child. And you study this in a lot of marketing, but it's just true of humans. I think a lot of people hide from the things that they go through. And in reality, God gave me a lot of gifts, not like gifts like talents. I'm not saying this from a conceited space. What I'm saying is I've personally navigated and experienced a lot of life challenges, not more than the next person. We just don't talk about it. Right. And when we get comfortable talking about the things that we experience and what helped us get through those, or what solutions we came up with, and we share that with more people, we actually make an impact on their life in a way that they can speed through some of the things that may have taken us longer because we were brave enough and courageous enough to share. So one of the things I tell people all the time when they're building any kind of service-based business is I say, write down the 2 or 3 things that you're working on right now that are authentically you, and figure out what are the small things that you're doing that can help somebody else, and go share them. Be authentic, be open-minded. Don't be a complainer by any sense. But how are you consistently sharing 2 to 3 things that you're currently working on, that you're currently building, or that you're currently navigating, and what's working for you, such that you can speed up the pain that anybody else has to go through, and you can solidify your relationship with them, and you can just create these solutions in the world. And it can make such a bigger impact than you can possibly imagine. And then people will want to work with you when it's time to work with you for what you serve. Many times I think people just get so obsessed with sharing things specific to real estate on their social media when really people just want to know who they are and they want to know how they can help them and they want to know that they genuinely care. And when you share things that you're working on or things that you have overcome, people know that you're putting yourself out there and they'll feel safer working with you.
Wow, I love it. I love it. Yeah, because I market a bunch of real estate agents. You know what? I mean, sometimes they ask me home inspection questions, but the majority of the time it's about my kids. We used to make those pancakes, my pants, and I do art, So yeah, I'm 100% share. I mean, I know some people are a little funny about, sharing their kids stuff and all, but if you're relatable, I mean, everybody likes people who are relatable more so than somebody who, you know, I'm sure we've seen this. Like, I know you've seen it where they have this very curated, every picture's
Perfect. Yeah.
photoshopped, everything's perfect. And
Yes.
I know for a fact, for a fact that their life is not perfect. Nobody, I mean, I've heard this. What's the quote I heard? The only people who don't have problems are in the cemetery. I mean, everybody's got problems, but
Well,
anyway,
another thing I would say that's one of the top three things that people navigate and have forever is they struggle with the mindset of having personal or business leverage because they don't realize they're actually giving someone else an opportunity that they always prayed for and getting their life back.
I
They
love it.
actually have to overcome the mindset that if I hire someone else to do things I don't love, then I'm causing them to feel small or I'm like, no, I don't love doing this. So who in the world would want to do it? Like it's
But some
unfair
people do.
to
There's
put,
people
yeah,
who
they
like
love the
math.
things we don't love. Yes.
My daughter's like, do you know there's people who major in math? Who in the world would want to major in math?
I
Like,
was
there's
great at
people,
math.
yeah, I will hire because I hate it. I hate it. And there's, people who are good at, managing. I like marketing. That's
Yeah.
kind of my thing, but gosh, you start showing me a whole bunch of spreadsheets. I mean, I understand them, but my eyes start glazing over and like, oh, I have to drink a lot of coffee or something. But
So getting used to, I have a lot of conversations around leverage, and it doesn't matter if it's their first personal leverage of hiring a cleaner or someone to do their laundry or someone to help them, with their kids for a little bit. If they're a mom, I have a lot of moms I've worked with over the years. And leverage is a big conversation and just understanding there are getting really clear on your personal dollar per hour, how many hours you want
love
to,
it.
how
Love
many
it.
hours you want
Love
to
it.
be working. Um, Ideally in your dream world because you get to choose because you're building your business. So here's how many hours I'd like to be working, how many I'd like to be taking care of myself, how many I'd like to be with my family or friends. And then here's how much money I'd like to be making. Figure out the profit margin. Now you divide it by the number of hours you'd like to be working. That's your dollar per hour.
And can you pay somebody? Are you clean? Are you mowing your own grass? I mean, when you can pay
Right,
somebody,
right. Now
I
you
had to
make
come to
your,
that realization. It was tough because I always mowed my own grass, and like, why am I, if my dollar per hour, I can pay somebody a fraction of that, and it doesn't take them as long
yeah.
because they, have
They're
all this
great at
equipment.
it. Yes,
Yeah.
they're great at it.
So why?
So you have your not to do list. So as soon as you understand your dollar per hour, you have your not to do list. And now you figure out is that one or multiple roles that you're going to hire to handle that not to do list so you get your time back. And you have conversations with your children around that as they're looking at, even as young as 13 years old. My son literally put a little business card together on his own one day that I posted at our neighborhood page recently and started getting himself jobs because he knew what he wanted to make an hour and what he could do in that time frame for people. And a couple
I
people have
like
hired
that.
him for different small jobs so far. So, what's interesting is, I didn't grow up knowing about money or business or any of that. And what I love the most about it is I'm just always hungry to learn and grow more and never think I know it all. And I would say for anyone listening, don't wait as long as I did to start sharing lessons and what you're learning with your children. We're blessed enough in the real estate industry to get into growth environments, be in high level conversations, have high level growth partners that are coaches or leaders around you. And we're surrounded by that in the industry. Thank goodness. It's changed my whole life. And I waited a year or two to start talking about the things I was learning and growing in with my children at home. So not only share those with people on social media and the people that you're serving in your business, also make sure that you're teaching those little lessons and bringing those things home.
I love it. Love it. Do you struggle, or not you personally, but do you have people come to you that struggle with if they grew up with a certain mindset? Like I don't blame our parents, but parents, grandparents, if you're kind of poor and they were real poor in my situation, it was like, there was some mindsets that, you had to overcome. And, you mentioned like, what's your dollar per hour, you know, having to undo some of that programming where, I was Dave Ramsey before Dave Ramsey existed. I think he gives great advice to people who are in debt, to get them out. But I think it's terrible advice to people who are trying to build a business, to a degree, parts of his stuff, because it's sort of a, oh, save money. Don't drink that $4 coffee. Don't do that, And
Yeah.
I'm like, but now me is like, well, that $4 coffee, I might meet a real estate agent. I might get a deal. I got to be out there where deals are happening. I don't know. But I guess my question is, do in your coaching, do you meet people who like their mindset, maybe their parents' programming or something where you've got to expand it a little bit?
So what's interesting about that is 100% of us have life experiences that shape us. And not only around our mindset with money, also just around our mindset in general. So what I found in the things I've learned and the people I've worked with that have coached me and led me, and what I've had the opportunity to coach a lot of people through, as you're referring to, is you have to really identify the key things that happened before you were 7 years old that impacted the way that and those are your formative years in your brain. And you have to understand how those things impacted you and what stories you automatically made up without realizing it about your self-worth and about how you think about things like money, if you're worth anything, like literally lots of things to dive into there. And when you're really clear on what those things are, whether they were small or big things, it doesn't matter, they were your things, then you have the opportunity to redefine the truth about who you are, and you can really understand where things came from and be more intentional about shifting your mindset more frequently when you start falling back into those old beliefs. And yes, some of them are related to money. And the opportunity is for people to understand that every single human being innately has unique and special worth and was designed perfectly. And when you understand that and understand that all the experiences and everything around you actually was just working together for you and for the way that you're going to serve, and that whatever you are confident in being able to help people with, you absolutely deserve to be paid for that. And you should be mindful of return on investment. And there are things that give you a return that are not a direct financial return. And it's okay to choose those things like investing in real estate and building wealth. It's okay to choose that you want to take your children around the world. And the only reason why people get stuck in their mindset is because their experiences, their environment, and the people in their life try to talk them down into the mindsets that they have instead of them knowing the truth about what's possible out there.
Too much risk. Don't do
Yeah,
this. Don't talk to
yeah,
strangers.
yeah,
Don't buy that rental house. But like,
yeah.
and I look at like my parents, I love them, but and you do the best you could, but you're not leading the life that I want to lead. I mean, I don't mean that in a bad, maybe spiritually, but I want more. There's more out there, and there's, you got to take a little bit of risk. You got to expand, calculated risk.
Yeah, I mean, well, we just have the opportunity that anything out there is possible. And, there are different stages we go through in our belief system. So first we have to believe something's possible, then we have to believe that it's possible for us. And a lot of people get stuck in that, like, I think it's possible, but I don't ever think it's possible for me. And that's one of the key areas that I've been working with actually over the past 2 weeks with the coaching clients I currently have is what's the biggest impossible goal you would ever be scared to say out loud that you want to make come true in your life, or that you know that you were designed to go create in this world? And I have them share it with me.
That's awesome.
And I was really inspired around that conversation from the book, The Science of Scaling by Benjamin Hardy, that just recently came out. So I'm doing a lot of deep dives around some of the conversations in there with my clients currently.
It's 100% mindset, I one of those books, I think it's Malcolm Gladwell, one of his books or something, where they did a study of like intelligence versus, how well they do in life and that sort of thing or whatever. And I'm not saying money is the only, but being able to do what you want, when you want, with whom you want, to me is the ultimate,
Freedom. Yeah.
to me. And I guess when you're younger, you see people who are successful or something, and you think they're smarter than me, or they figured something out that I didn't. And I think as I gotten older and I've been around, go around some of these people, and it's like, it's mindset. It's 100% mindset. Because they said, like, all right, so average intelligence, I think, is 100, right? Whenever they do that test,
Yeah.
and then there's like the standard deviation, 60 some percent fall from 85 to 115 or something like that. They said, intelligence serves you really well up to about 120. But
Mhm.
if you get too much beyond that, you're too smart. You're like
It's limiting.
genius,
Mhm.
and then you have trouble, like, because you're on such a, it's like
You
there's so
become
you're
so analytical that you actually freeze yourself because of how much you're analyzing everything.
yeah. And the thing his study he did was like, and it made me feel good because I'm like, I'm not genius by any means. Like, if you're average to a little bit above average, you're perfect. you know but if you're too smart, I mean, you can be too smart. I mean, I don't know what I'm trying to say,
I
but
want to say, I want to say something to you. Um,
okay.
you just said I'm not genius. And one of the things that I help people focus on in their coaching, and I know everybody that knows you will think this too, Preston, is every single person has genius
True.
and has gifting. And there is a different combination of that for every single person.
Yeah.
And
No,
all of those
100%.
combinations are perfect.
And there's different types of intelligence too, you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
My brother, I guess when I was thinking about genius, I 100% agree
I
with it.
knew what you meant. Yeah. So you
I
were like on
think
the IQ scale.
I 130 or something like that. And my brother, actually, yeah, I got a younger brother that, man, he's smart, and I love him, but he's a different cat, man. He's a good dude, but like material wealth means nothing to him. I mean, but you
Everybody
need a guy to
defines
program
wealth
something for you,
differently.
he's your guy.
Yeah.
Well, cool. Well, let's have a little bit of fun, and then
Okay.
I have one or two questions, and I'll let you go because I want to be respectful of your time. So
Okay.
this is this or that. So I give you two things, and you choose one of them.
Okay.
Uh,
Perfect.
beach vacation or mountain retreat?
Oh, that's so hard. Beach first.
Beach first.
Yes.
If you could travel to the past or the future, which would you do?
The future, because I've already worked a lot on the past.
Nice, nice. All right, this is kind of a weird one, but it's kind of funny. Think Chat GPT first. If you had to be trapped in a room full of mosquitoes or a room full of clowns,
Oh, definitely clowns. Mosquitoes love me. They bite me before people even believe they exist outside.
yeah, are you like the prime
Yes.
rib to
They
them?
all come straight to me, yes.
Nice. Are you iOS or Android?
Are
Which
you
Apple?
joking? Is
That
that
that that attitude's got to be Apple. It's got to be Apple. I love you, Saundra, but man, the Apple people. I'm an Android person.
So fun fact, even though I just joked that way,
But my whole family's Apple except for me. I'm the stick in the mud.
I was Android all the way until I moved to Maryland, and then that leadership team I was a part of up there told me I was ruining their text chains, and that's when I
Oh
finally
yeah, yeah. Oh no, I'm the one.
yes,
I'm the green text.
yes.
I'm the one. Yeah, yeah. No, I had Apple up until the 6, iPhone 6. I had the 3, the 4, whatever. The 3. I had it up to 6, and then they made you they got rid of the phone jack. Yeah, this
Yeah.
is going way back, when you had, I mean, not the phone
Yeah.
jack, but the earphone jack. And that made me mad because it's like you got to buy these things that are wire, and it's like another thing I got to charge. I'll lose it because I'm ADD and I'm all over the
So
place.
funny.
So I went Android because they still had the where I could get the cheap
Plug it in.
earphones. Yeah. And then 2 or 3 generations later, they got rid of it too. So now,
That's so funny.
but I did get used to Android. I'll say this: I love the way Apple iOS, everything runs smooth together.
Mhm.
The MacBook, my whole family's on it. But the Android, I like how you can get more phone for the money. You can get more, more memory, better camera,
So funny.
all that. But anyway, sorry, I didn't
You
mean
should
to.
do a commercial for them.
Yeah, I know. I'm the square peg guy, while the other guy's like the cool. You remember the commercial? If Are you smartwatch or old school wristwatch?
I have an Apple Watch on.
Smartwatch.
Yeah. But it has
I'm
to have
both.
sparkles. So everyone who knows me knows I love sparkles. So it has to have something pretty with it.
Nice. I'm both actually. I like old school watches, but I have a Garmin, that's essentially a smartwatch. Keeps up my steps and all that because that makes you seeing those steps. Have you ever done this? And like in the
Yeah.
evening, you're like, you know what? I need to go for a walk or
Yeah.
something. And if that'll make me do that, because I'm like way behind. Tacos or pizza?
Tacos.
Pineapple on pizza, yes or no?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I like the Hawaiian pizza. Cereal on are you cereal without milk or cereal with milk?
With milk, but my son likes it without, which is totally weird.
Tennis shoes or flip-flops?
Well, mostly I wear heels, so I might fall in either tennis shoes or flip-flops. My
Now,
son's not used to it.
were you into boy bands at all back in the day?
I was when I was like a young teenager. Yes, I was.
All right, so I'm gonna give you a couple. You tell me
Okay,
which
okay.
one. One Direction, uh, uh, New Edition, what 97 degrees, 98 degrees, or what were they? So I don't know. I'm aware of what was the other one? O Town. Uh, which one would you pick out of those?
98 degrees.
Is it 98? That's the one that had Nick Lachey, right? It was like
It,
Nick Lachey. Yeah, yeah.
98 degrees, yes, fun.
All right. Did I tell you like for a boy, a mullet or a bowl cut? Did we do that one already?
We didn't. Both of
All
those are
right.
ugly.
You got to pick one of them. I know you probably don't like either one of
No, they're both not good. I know that
them.
some of those things have come back, but they're not good. I don't know. Maybe bowl cut.
Yeah. I think the mullet's coming back
I
though.
know.
I'm
I've
telling you.
seen people with it.
All right. Last this or that question. Toilet paper over or under? Like on the roll.
Over. Over.
Over.
Yeah.
Everybody says over, unless some people say if you got cats, they'll do it under
Yeah.
because the
That's
cat
true.
doesn't get it out.
That's true.
All right. Last question for you. So if I'm a real estate agent, I'm a sole, one person, doing it all. I wish we had more time. I'd love to dive into that versus teams, but I know
Yeah, I would love to help with that. We can
yeah.
definitely spend a little time for that.
But let's say, just bear with me here for a minute. I woke up in a parallel universe and I still had all my equipment, my computer, car, signs. I didn't have to buy any equipment, but for
Okay.
whatever reason, I got to start all over. I don't know anybody.
Yeah.
And I got $5,000. What would you do with that $5,000 to get your name get go? Now again, you don't have to buy a computer, any kind of equipment
Yeah.
or anything. You got a
Right.
CRM, you got all that. What would you do with that five? It's sort of a return on what is it?
So
Return on
easy. It's so easy for me to answer that.
okay.
I would have you identify your top 50 VIPs that you know have always been for you in your life and that you've always been a champion of.
Okay.
And I would create a VIP system and I would use that money to do micro events with them. I would schedule dinners at wonderful places because I like going to nice dinners. I would schedule ball games. I would literally buy experiences and time with the people that are my champions and start building my business naturally through them.
Awesome. Awesome. All right, I lied. I do have one more question. Um, I didn't lie when I asked the question. I just thought of another question. Because you've read a lot of books and stuff, give me a couple of top books you recommend if I'm in real estate and I'm trying to build my business. What besides your book,
Yeah.
obviously your book, but a couple of others. What would you recommend? What would be top on your list?
So, I mean, the person that created the company that's caused me to be where I am right now is Gary Keller. So it would be crazy for me not to say the Millionaire Real Estate Agent. It is what the models in it definitely have caused success and life change and life transformation for so many people. The one thing, absolutely,
Yeah,
for
yeah.
life and business. Also,
Shift. That one's
yes,
good too.
I do like Shift, and it's super applicable right now with the tactics. And actually you can use Shift to help other businesses grow too. So that's something that I helped a lot of people do in COVID to grow their business, is to host a Shift book club with other people that were in their database to help support them and how to recover or shift. Um, because it's not only real estate related. But there are a couple that I always tell people that are really important. So one that made a huge impact on my life is the Miracle Morning, and I mean
Oh, Hal Elrod.
the
Oh,
regular original one.
yep.
I hosted quite a few Miracle Morning challenges, and becoming a morning person on purpose when I'm not naturally did change everything for me. And I'm really passionate about helping people with their mornings. Another one is Atomic Habits. I'm a
Oh,
big
yeah,
James
yeah.
Clear fan.
Duhigg, Charles Duhigg. Is that or no?
James
Is that the one?
James Clear.
James Clear. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
You're right.
And so that one is really powerful just to understand how to create new habits, which, I started off talking about in the beginning of this conversation. Um, Also, I'm just a really, really, really big John Maxwell fan. And so
I
I
love
would
John Maxwell.
say the book Intentional Living is really powerful. And then he has a lot of leadership books for those of you that are trying to help people succeed in your organization or hiring the right people. And then I'm going to throw one more at you because I just love this woman so much, and somehow she fit so many areas of her greatness in one book. Becoming More by Diana Kokoska has
Yeah.
so many different things inside of it to help you truly dive into how you can become a better version of yourself and understand the science and the thinking behind how to do that. And I had the opportunity to be an original reader of that book before it was published and actually have a
Oh,
little
awesome.
red wagon that came with it. And it's one of the most special books I've ever had, and it has already helped change a lot of lives.
Awesome. Awesome. All right. So tell us about your book, how we can find it, where can we buy it? And then I want to hear like how to like if I for all the listeners out there. Well, first of all, everybody who listen to this, you got some value. Go give her some likes, follows, whatever it is the kids do these days. Tell us. All right. So tell us how to get your book,
Okay.
how to find out more about your coaching, and how we can like and follow you and all that stuff.
Okay, perfect. So number one, the Legacy Collaborative is the community I'm building. We're at 330 people in the community this morning. So if these values we talked about today and really living a bigger life and lifting other people along the way are of interest to you, you can join the Legacy Collaborative community on Facebook. And we're going to be at 20,000 people that are a part of that movement by 2028. So I'd love for you to be one of them. Secondly, my book is called She Built the Fire. It is on Amazon. It's only in paperback because I didn't do the work to get it in any of the other formats yet. So that will happen in the future. And right now you can buy it paperback. It's only $13.77. But you have to promise me if you go buy it, you're going to do the questions and the exercises because that's the reason why I was willing to publish it. Um, you can reach out to see if I have coaching slots open. I am only taking a handful, and after a really powerful conversation I had today and the impact that's happening for people, I reduced the number of one-on-one coaching clients I'm taking, so I only have a few slots left right now. So you can reach out to me on Instagram through the Legacy Collaborative Instagram page. Also, Saundra underscore Legacy Builder is my other Instagram. So you're welcome to direct message me and we can talk about if it makes sense. I'll do a deep dive into your business, and then If it makes sense to work together, we will. And if not, you can continue to be in the collaborative and still have access, and we can partner together. And I'll always be doing a mid-year event in the middle of the year ongoing. My first one is going to be next Wednesday here in the Charlotte area.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that. Yeah. Tell us about it.
Drift at Lake Wiley. We only have a couple tickets left. So if you want to know more about that, message me. I'll send you the link for the Eventbrite. And it's going to be a really powerful reset done differently than any of the other mid-year resets you've ever attended. It's only 2 hours. It's from 2 to 4 p.m. All people in the real estate industry who have interest in having a great second half are invited as long as there's tickets left. And then in September, I'm actually bringing in a big guest speaker into the Charlotte area to do our very first personal and business planning summit for 2026, so that you can be ahead of all of your goal setting and personal reflection before October, so that your activities are going to cause your results in January, because people wait too long to start their business and personal planning, and then they wonder why their January doesn't start on track. And I am here to help you stop the madness around that. So
awesome. All right. So the book, She Built a Fire.
Yes.
The group is the Legacy Collaborative. You can find that on Facebook.
Yes.
It's public, right? I mean, you don't have to, it's not like.
Yeah, the Legacy Collaborative. Yes.
And then obviously Saundra Kandler, that's spelled the way it sounds pretty much.
Kandler. Yeah.
Yeah. Yours was easy to pronounce. I've known you for a long time, but I'll tell you, I get on here, I've done some of these, and I've known the people forever, but I never pronounce their last name. I know them by first name.
You don't have to. Yeah.
And then it's like, I mispronounce it, and I'm like, oh gosh. But yours is easy.
Thank you. Well, I'm grateful that we've had a chance to know each other. You have made a positive impact on my life along the years, and I'm grateful to know you.
Hey, and likewise, you're always inspirational. And every time after I talk to you, I'm like, all right, I got to go work on that book now, because next time I see you, if I have it, then accountability. So awesome. Well, Saundra, you've been so joyous with your time. I mean, and you've been so giving. I appreciate it. I'm sure all the listeners appreciate it. And I will see you soon.
Okay. Thank you, Preston.
Thank you.
You've been listening to the Successful Real Estate Broker Podcast with your host, Preston Sandlin. Join us on the next episode, where we'll be talking to a successful agent or vendor about the right things to do and the wrong things you should avoid. Join us on the next episode of the Successful Real Estate Broker Podcast.